There's a series that we started last night. It's called Territory. And it sucked me in because it's the world's largest cattle ranch. That's part of the come on in Australia, in the outback.
Okay.
So the first series, we started watching the first episode, but it's like Yellowstone, Aussie style. That's basically what it is.
I was just getting ready to say, is it their version?
Same thing. But it's got as much bullshit as Yellowstone, which I refused to watch after an episode where they're driving down the road. The sister, somebody points a gun at somebody, and then all of a sudden they shoot the gun, and they keep driving like nothing happened. Those people would be deaf. There's no reality there whatsoever. The gun goes off inside a cab, and these people, I shot a gun outside, and I'm still a little deaf in this ear. I mean, that's 6 years ago. So that was total bullshit, and I'm going, I can't watch bullshit. Although, anything you watch,
so if you watch, if they were driving and you can see them driving down the road holding their ears,
they'd have pulled over. Their ears would have physically hurt. When I did it, it was like, God damn, what the hell is this? Oh, it was brutal. I'm telling you, it's never recovered from. But anyway, so I'm watching this last night, and so this guy, he's the head of the whole deal. Actually, they call him, he's the baron. He's the cattle baron, and he's going to take it over.
He's the Kevin Costner.
Yeah, exactly. But his dad is still alive, but he's obviously running the operation. So his horse throws him someplace, and he's laying there, and you see this gruesome break. It's a compound fracture of the femur, which is the thigh bone. And you got the bone poked out of it, and you got all this blood around it. And so all of a sudden, and he's there, and he's trying, and he takes out his belt. Now he's not bleeding, it's just you see blood, but it's not like you see something spurting or there's a lot of blood coming out of it. But he ties his belt around his leg, and I'm going, yeah, well, I see, that's good. You're going to make a tourniquet, but then you got to have a stick to tighten the tourniquet. And he just ties it.
We're a little tougher over here, mate.
He just ties it in a knot. It's no big deal. And after he gets done with that, what do you think happens? All of a sudden, the dingo shows up. And the dingo...
Dingo, it's your baby.
This is almost a scene everybody has to watch. I'm going to recommend you watch Territory for about 20 minutes. You'll get to this scene, and then you'll go, I've seen enough of Territory.
Don't spoil it with the dingo. I got to find out what the dingo did.
Well, I'm going to spoil it because I have to. That's the whole point. I can't leave people hanging. I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin it for you, but But listen, just seeing it after I describe it, you'll kind of go, wow, yeah, pretty impressive. So all of a sudden, this dingo shows up, and then it's like another dingo, but it ain't a dingo. It's like a dog that's bigger, so it's like wild dog. And next thing you know, there's another wild dog. Next thing you know, dog. And all of a sudden, and he's got, I forget what he's trying to beat him off with something. And all of a sudden, and there's two on him, and then there's three, and then it looks like, it looks like a scrum and rugby. There are probably 8 to 10 wild dogs ripping into this guy, right? And they are, what do you think they're going to do? I think that's dinner bell, right? I think that's what they thought.
It's on.
So then they go back to the ranch, and now everybody's looking for him, and so they're out there, and the guy goes, oh yeah, something. They're looking up because there's vultures circling. They go, something must have died. Of course, it's the guy's brother, and so he says, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of some of these varmints. He trains his gun down there, and all of a sudden, through the telescopic sighting, he sees, oh goddamn, there's a body down there, and they go down there, and it's the brother. Now listen to this. His body is still intact. He's got his shirt on. There's not one rip on his shirt. His arms are intact.
Crikey.
It would look like a mud hole when those dogs got done. But just a few bones would have been all you'd have seen. Todd.
It's
immediately
Outback,
I said,
mate.
Huh?
It's the Outback, a little different. We roll a little harder.
So the wild dogs down there, when they eat you, they put on a napkin.
Bib.
They're much more refined than the wild dogs.
Yes, they know what they're
and
doing.
The coyotes around here. And then they take him to the hospital, or not to the morgue, and you see him, and they got him covered in a white sheet. And there's all this big spot of blood. Now, to me, I'm thinking, well, when he died, what happens is the blood, I think it's called lividity, just starts to settle in the body.
Yeah.
And so, but there's this big, huge pool, like patch of blood on the sheet, and I'm thinking, his heart ain't beating. It ain't been beating for probably an hour or so, but yet he's bleeding out on the morgue, you know, what do you call him, the guy that
On
does...
the slab.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, Todd, it's like... It's stranger than truth. But I will say this. If you go, I'm one of those guys that once I see true, honest, I mean, I'll suspend my reality to a point. But when I see blatant bullshit, I got to go.
I think like Taylor Sheridan, creator of a lot of different series, Yellowstone and Stallone's Tulsa King, and I think you need to be the on-set consultant. If it doesn't pass the Riggo sniff test, cut, Riggo, fix this.
There's a fly that would not be in this county in the background right there. This fly has never been discovered in this county.
He's indigenous.
You have to get rid of that fly, and we'll shoot it again. Yeah.